Welcome back to another episode of Friday Night Futon.
Food
Josh is back
time. We're
from
back.
Colorado.
We're
First of all,
back.
before we even talk about some ball, let me hear your Colorado trip, man.
Colorado is amazing, man. If you ever get a chance to go out there, besides the skiing and snowboarding that you can do, they have a big hockey scene, a big hockey scene. And if you know, was it last year, Quinn, the Nuggets won? Or the year before? I think it was the year
Yeah,
before.
it was the year before.
Uh, they have a big basketball scene and hockey scene. So when you go to Colorado, but Denver to be more specific, you have things to do like hockey, basketball. If you go out to the Colorado Springs, like 45 minutes to an hour, go horseback riding. We did that, was fun. Um, and the view of the mountains is just beautiful. Thought that was pretty fun just to be able to see the mountains on the road. It's real fun. Only thing
Yeah,
bad about I would say Colorado is, or Denver to be more specific, going like driving on the road, you'll be driving for about an hour and it'll feel like 2 hours. But other than that, Colorado's amazing. The food's good. You ever get out there, you should go, man.
what's some food that
Definitely
you had out there?
go. We had like chicken and waffles. We had like
Oh,
um we came in like place called Mimosas. If you're out there in Denver, go to Mimosas. Go
okay.
around 12, like brunch time, and they have $5 like mimosas and like the breakfast is like $10. Had like Italian food too. Like pretty simple food, but it was pretty good though. And service is fast. Service is like 20 to 40 minutes. Everything came out so fast. So it was, yeah, in and
Yeah.
out, Kava,
Oh yeah.
it was amazing.
How much Denver Nuggets stuff did you see? Did you see any murals or any stuff like that?
Surprisingly, I've seen a little bit like Jamal Murray and stuff like that. But more like towards downtown, they actually have a street dedicated to like the Packers,
Hmm.
like a Wisconsin street, and it's like all Packers stuff, which is like interesting.
Yeah.
I know the
Oh,
Broncos aren't doing too good, but it was interesting seeing the Packers stuff, and I was like, huh, because like that's Sunday I came back, the Packers were playing, and everybody was going to the bars to watch the Packers play. People had on cheesehead cups and everything. It's
yeah.
like,
No.
damn,
Yeah, we talked football off the podcast
hmm,
because has been pretty good as well.
crazy.
Yeah, but yeah, so let's get in some ball. The main reason we're doing this podcast right now at this time, you guys will get it Friday, but uh, it's because we did it right after the Cavs Thunder game because we
Yes.
thought it was the game of the week, and it was, but not as a close game, just as approving to us that the Thunder are honestly the top dogs, not in just the West, but in the entire
Entire
NBA.
NBA, facts.
Yeah, so that yeah, let's just go over through some of that game. So you said that Shea was gonna drop a 30 ball easy, and
Yeah,
he came out. What did he?
he came out and delivered. I think he had 40 points and eight assists.
I'll see what he ended on. But yeah, you just
I'll
get
talk about it a little bit. Watching
ended
the
with,
first game,
yeah, ended with 40 on the
yeah,
dot with eight
ended with
assists. Yep.
40 and eight assists. Amazing. And he didn't have to do that. I think if he would have even scored 30 points, he would have been fine. Or 25, he would have been fine. He has supporting cast that can score. That's the thing the Cavs don't really have, or they do have, but it doesn't really show. Like they might have like
Yeah,
Max Hughes, Donovan Mitchell, but the thing about the Cavs is if Donovan Mitchell doesn't have a great game, who's going to make up for that?
yeah. No, the
Make up for that.
Darius Garland, he gave a 20 that didn't matter at all because the rest of the team did not show up. Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen, I thought were going to show up big in this game because Isaiah Hartenstein is going to be out for a week with a calf strain, and I thought that was going to be a big determination for this Cavs game, and also they go and play the Dallas Mavericks at home, and they also have Derek Lively and Gafford, so. But this win makes me not even worried about that opponent anymore because they absolutely shut down the entire team of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And they're at a point a little bit in the third, Darius Garland was kind of trying to trade buckets, but it did not matter. Um, the role playing of the Cavaliers has been really tough. I have not liked the Max Strus minutes at all. He had a lot of sloppy turnovers, I thought, and he had two, but it felt bad. It's just his overall play just felt really bad tonight. Isaac Okoro has not. been like we knew he's not been like that perfect fit for them. So
Yeah.
just that three. So the big disappointment of this game is honestly Evan Mobley because I was a little scared that Donovan Mitchell, we were talking off camera before this, that I thought Donovan Mitchell was already going to be clamped up in this game because the Thunder have proven that they have been able to clamp him up as in last game, even that the Cavaliers won. And again, he has a stinker of a game, 21
Mm-hmm.
minutes and 8 points off 3 for 15 shooting. So
Ooh,
clearly the Thunder have figured out the Cavaliers. So if that is
yeah.
their finals matchup, you can basically put that as a 4-0 sweep. So, like I said,
I'll give him
um,
one. I give
yeah,
him one or two.
I don't even think Josh. I don't know that
I'll give him at least one.
in the playoffs, I'm imagining Chet Holmgren and Hartenstein to be back, and
Ah,
if Evan Mobley and Jared Allen can't find it right now without either of those bigs being there, it's tough.
I thought it was, yeah, watching the game, I thought like the first quarter, I don't think they didn't win a quarter besides the fourth quarter. So,
Yeah,
and that was basically from all the role players stepping up. Like
yeah,
you had Luke Dort.
yeah. No,
He had like six threes or so.
yeah, 22 points. He reminded me he kind of had a similar game as of DeAndre Hunter's been really good for the Atlanta
Mhm.
Hawks this year, dropping a couple. He had a streak of 20-point games, and and honestly, that was kind of the bigger knock on Max Strus that I didn't get to. That it just felt like he had his way with Max Strus, and
Yeah,
that was kind of who he was guarding. But yeah, the just the role players of the Thunder have been amazing just throughout the entire season.
amazing. Yeah, literally everybody scored besides two people, and I don't think two people played. Oh, Alex Ducas played in the fourth quarter, and then Adam Flagger didn't. He just didn't score. But everybody scored besides two people. So that's how you know it's a full rounded game.
Yeah,
So
no, they put out their not they put out their not so good players out there at the very end. It was a beatdown, and I think so. This kind of puts the Cavs in a weird spot because they don't have to play the Thunder at all in the entire
at all, yeah.
playoffs until the finals. So
Facts.
it really makes the Cavs an interesting team because clearly this is the only team that's been able to really kind of stop Donovan Mitchell,
Yeah.
and we saw if they're like the most recent schedule, they've been really running over teams, and
Hmm.
the Celtics kind of I don't know I still have them as the top after this game. I still have it. Nothing has changed from Thunder, Celtics in the finals, but I it shows me that if the Cavs get there and the Thunder are there, it's going to be wraps. It's not even going to be. It's going to be no
Yeah.
contest. So Celtics are really need to come out and make it to that finals or to make it a interesting finals for us this year. I believe.
I think they can.
Yeah.
I think that'll
Uh.
be it. I think what do you think about the Celtics versus the Thunder? Final.
So that would be interesting. So if I was to go full, because I feel like Porzingis he would be back for that series, and like I said, Hartenstein and uh, Chet Holmgren should be back as well for the playoffs. So with both of those at full health, I really would still have to go with Thunder because they've been playing the most
Definitely.
consistent basketball throughout the entire year. I feel like they won it. I feel like it's a bad take, but I feel like they won it more. Um, they have the wings to guard the
Hmm.
wings of the Thunder. I mean the Celtics, and then they have the automatic scoring that was the kind of the trouble that Luka Doncic kind of gave a little bit. He got it off a little bit in later in the finals, but just having that guy that really goes at the Celtics on a one-on-one matchup that is a guard really you have Derek White and Drew Holiday, but I don't think it's enough.
Yeah, I don't think it was not either. Um, yeah. I think the Thunder can win the championship. If
Yeah,
they if they if
they have
all
the
the
depth
players
to
are
match the
healthy,
Celtics as
yeah,
well.
yeah. They have the like. I don't think Jalen. I don't think Jason Tatum will be like. I don't think he'll go too crazy. I know he'll score his points, his like 25 or 30. But I think they can hold him.
Yeah, no, they all yeah. I think they just have the firepower to beat out the Celtics because I've
Yeah,
seen them shoot and blow out teams with threes. I mean, this game they kind of just got it with a collective, so I've seen them beat it with a team with a collective as well. And then we just see that the kind of those games that also beat the Celtics are kind of the
yeah,
games that like they let the guys shoot, like Caleb Martin when he had that nasty game on Christmas and blew them out of the water. That's a game that I can see Aaron Wiggins having because he's had it already in this season, not against the Celtics, but yeah, he's the type of player that can get hot because Joe Mazzulla wants to sag off that certain player for an entire
yeah,
playoff series, and that's the stuff that can kill you for one game in an entire series. You look back and that's the Aaron Wiggins game, you know. So like that's the firepower that like kind of like the Thunder have now that I think the Celtics have kind of lost because it's kind of that used to be the Derek White, but I feel like the NBA and everyone has kind of gotten to like Derek White is in that five, and the Thunder have
hmm
the Thunder have the best five in the NBA. However, that with putting Derek White in that starting five has kind of hurt their um bench, and I feel like in a 7 game series, some of those players might get outplayed, like Luke Cornett and Kada and just some of those other bench and Sam Hauser at times. I feel like those are the type of players that the Thunder team abuses because they have scores at all five
yeah.
positions.
All of them can score. Everybody can score. So that's gonna be
Yeah.
interesting. We'll have to come back to that.
Yeah. We can go over some of the other games that happened today if you
Definitely.
we got the Pacers beating the Pistons, who the Pistons have kind of been hot, but the
Mhm.
Pacers going in to the Pistons home court and beating them 111 to 100 on the dot. Uh, it's just it's kind of good to see Tyrese Halliburton kind of get back in the swing of things, not having the greatest of games
Yeah.
on this one, but a really standout performance from Miles Turner on
Yes.
this one. But and
28.
see
We
how
like that.
yeah, and Siakam doing his thing. Um, but I still think the Pistons are kind of one of those sneaky teams in the East that have just kind of consistently been climbing, even though they do lose this game. You get a really good game out of Tim Hardaway Jr. Kind of sucks
hmm
to lose a game when he gives you 25, but you've kind of been getting that kind of pop game from one of those guards, even if it's Tim Hardaway Jr. or if it's Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley shooting a 1 for 10 this game, that really hurt them. But so when you get, they're kind of a team that kind of wins by collective, but the offensive punch of the Pacers has kind of been back, and they kind of feel like that team that we will kind of give up a lot of points, but we're going to give you a lot more baskets.
Yeah. And I think it was 2 years ago. They were named as the most fast paced team in the NBA. Um,
Yeah.
so I feel like if they can keep consistency, which I know in the NBA is very hard, especially coming from back to backs. Um, I think if they can keep consistency, they can make something work. What do you think? I
Yeah,
think
no,
they can definitely make something work.
they're one of those teams that's kind of like the kryptonite to other teams, like the Bucks. Like if like they do not the Bucks do not want to see the Pacers in a playoff series if they're like that's their first playoff series that they have to play in the thing. But um and neither but and the Celtics, that's a team that like makes them run and gun. So
Yeah.
they lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, but it is kind of a team that like you don't really want to see that in the first round. Like it's kind of like that weird like they're gonna play at their pace, and you can't keep up with their pace, so you're just gonna have to
hmm
like figure out a way to play
Adapt.
your
You gotta
game.
adapt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, like the Cavs, like it's a team I feel like it would be fine with them. The Knicks, they I feel like they would get their revenge on the Pacers and whoop them with Karl Anthony Towns,
Facts.
and
Got
then
you.
the Knicks were not fully healthy when they played the Pacers in the playoffs, so I feel like they would get their revenge and whoop them. But yeah, I feel like it's a kryptonite for t some teams, and some teams it's like I could see them being a 4-0 sweep in some of the series. Um, and then we got so for the other game that finished was the Suns beating the Wizards. The Wizards have been really bad, and the Suns have also been kind of hurting as of right now, so they really needed this win. But the so Devin Booker does his thing, dropping 37. Kevin Durant has 23 on an efficient 50% shooting. But the big game that really stands out to me is Ryan Dunn's performance as a rookie, having 18 and
Hmm.
11, um, shooting a good 2 for 3 from three. So he's been really impressive and one of my most underrated rookies of the year. I really liked his implement into the team, and I'm excited to see Nick Richards play for this team later. He didn't play today, but he was the most recent trade for Josh Okogie, and I think that's a really good trade because the I was listening to one podcast and they said the worst the centers that have scored the least amount of points has been Mason Plumlee and Yusuf Nurkic, and I think just having another option is will just help this team. And Nick Richards
Yeah,
is not like Mason Plumlee or Yusuf Nurkic. He's a rim runner, defender, shot blocker. So I think he's gonna give him a different vibe, and I think he'll give him some good extra minutes. But Mason Plumlee actually having a good game, 6 points,
mm.
nine
It's good for
rebounds,
Mason Plumlee.
4 assists on 3 for 3 shooting. So um but yeah, what do you think about this? What do you think about how the Suns have kind of been uh
I
reaping?
think they just need to like rebuild and figure out what's the strategy gonna be. I want to see a team like that. I know they have the potential to be great. They have Devin Booker who can give you 60. They have Kevin Durant who can give you 40 on a given night. I think with teams like that, it just needs some like restructuring inside, like with the coordinators and everything, with the coach, to see like how we're gonna fix this. Sidebar though, Keyshawn George did have 24 points. I think he is a rookie for the Wizards.
Yes.
He had 24 points when I thought that was pretty impressive. Coming from I watched him play at University of Miami, and I'd seen his development, and I was like, oh wow, he was able to score 24 points against Kevin Durant and against the Suns is very impressive as a rookie.
Yeah, no, Bob Carrington having a kind of a bad night, but he's also had some good rookie minutes also for them. But yeah, Keyshawn George, yeah, he was against Kevin Durant on some possessions tonight, and he
Hmm.
had a really good shooting night, shooting 6 for 8 from three. Um Also the interesting look of them just starting Alex Sarr at center has been interesting, and having Valanciunas come off the bench. um, Running a interesting lineup against a team. I feel like that would be a I feel like that would be the time to kind of use Valanciunas to abuse a team that doesn't
Yeah,
really have a true center. But
I would
um,
think so too. I would
but
think you put Alex Sarr at power forward and put Valanciunas at center. That's what I would do.
yeah, and Kyle Kuzma has been god awful shooting. He's been usually a shot chucking, but he shoots 4 shots this game, um, and for 5 points, shooting 2 for 4. And I feel like the worst like one of the things that coaches told me, or like just I've heard from other like coaches and stuff, is like when you're looked at as a scorer, like which Kyle Kuzma has kind of been, even if it
Yeah,
has been horribly consistent, the worst thing you can really do for a team is like hold back and not shoot those shots that you were shooting through the entire year. Your team is looking for those shots. Uh, your center is looking for those shots. A lot of times, in 2K, your big gets 3 seconds because he's expecting you to shoot that shot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it so a performance like that really like frustrates me because I thought last year Kyle Kuzma would be a perfect trade asset to get for one of these teams before the Kings had DeMar DeRozan or the Mavericks, even though he said he didn't want to go there. I feel like he'd be a really good piece because he when he is on a competitive team, he does play locked in, but right now he's really hurting his stock horribly.
yeah. I think for that Wizards team, it could be team morale. Knowing that their record is really, really horrible and they're bottom last. Um, makes him real sad and probably hurts.
Yeah.
So I think Kyle Kuzma should just try his best. Just keep trying. Don't give up. 'Cause I know he made it to the NBA, he made millions, but don't give up.
Yeah,
Don't just be complacent.
it's still a player I'd like to see on a competitive roster, even if it's not a completely contending team. I feel like he could definitely elevate some platform of a team, but right now it's kind of hard to sell yourself on that because of
Yeah,
how bad his play has been. So I don't really see him moving. I saw him kind of moving last year, but yeah, no, I don't really know where Kyle Kuzma's career really goes on from just the Wizards.
yeah.
But
Same.
um going on, let's go on to our All-Star segment. We got the All-Star break coming up. And so we're gonna go through our All-Star votes and who we had as the All-Star starters. You want to start with the West or the East?
Let's start with the West. I'll have you go first.
Yeah,
Tell me your front court.
so my front court is Victor Wembanyama,
Okay.
uh Nikola Jokic, and Anthony Davis.
Okay. My front court is basically the same. Nikola Jokic, but I put Kevin Durant. Just because this is me personally, like a personal bias, like KD fan. Nothing crazy. Victor Wembanyama, for all the great things he's done. 8 blocks the other day. He got dunked on, but it's okay. I think he's just a great player, and he's going to take over this league within the next maybe 5 years. All the players will be probably retiring.
Yeah, no, Victor Wembanyama has really been putting on an insane performance, and for him to be a starter, all-star for in his second year really stands out to how a generational talent he is.
Yeah.
And I think just the scoring of him, and just the also the defensive, just him has really stood out to me this year. Just the 3-point volume and him being on the stats on every single list it's insane. He really putting up generational stats and numbers. But
So,
who's your last front court after Kevin Durant, Victor Wembanyama, Kevin Durant, and Jokic. Yeah.
Jokic, yep.
So our only difference is Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant. I just think Kevin Durant hasn't he didn't he played at almost an MVP type level at the beginning of the year, and then he had that injury and he was out for a long time.
Yeah.
Because trust me, I'm a fantasy basketball owner of Kevin Durant, and he was out for a good amount of time, and then he's came back. But the Suns have not really felt like that lethal team that it was in the beginning of the year. And I don't know. I just I gave the nod to Anthony Davis because he is kind of similar to Victor Wembanyama, doing it really on the offensive and defensive end at a certain point in the year. He was the leader in points per game, and
Hmm.
he really had for the knocks that we had on on Anthony Davis like years ago, where he didn't really play that many games, day-to-day Davis, but he
Yeah,
really
they called him street clothes.
he's
Street
been
clothes.
he's really been at a peak level. So I gave him the nod there.
Okay.
But yeah, so I'll let you go first for your East.
Let's do the guards. Do the
Oh,
guards West.
we didn't go for the West. Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
I got Shea Gilly, Mr. 40-30 bomb. No sweat.
Yeah,
Come on,
I
that's
also
this.
have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander
Mhm.
there. I think he honestly, um, this is the glazing episode of the Thunder, I guess. It's a good, it's right here. I mean, talking about All-Star starter for the halfway point of the NBA season, he is the MVP right now as well. So, yeah. So who's your other
I got Anthony Edwards. I know he struggled. He had some games where he put up 14 points, 12 points, 18 points. In some games he struggled, but I still believe he can turn it around in the end. And I'm a believer in Anthony Edwards. I know like the NBA players go through struggles and he's probably going through a slump. He just had 41 points, coming off 41-point game like I think the last game he had or something like that. I believe in Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, and so I gave the nod to he's also injured right now, and his team has been declining since his injury because also Kyrie is out, and that would be Luka Doncic. Um, really playing at also an MVP type level. Just his
Hmm.
team doesn't have the true success as Shea Alexander, but another just amazing year from Luca. His leg bothering him again. So if he can play in the All-Star game, usually Jokic and Luca really take it chill in the All-Star game, but
Yeah.
I would rather him kind of take a rest there so he can get right for the playoffs because that is the true spectacular showtime of Luca. But I gave him the nod as the starter for
Okay.
the West.
I can see that. I can see that for sure. Luca is amazing.
Yeah, so I'll go on with my East front court. I had Giannis, Cat, and Jason Tatum.
I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah,
Wholeheartedly.
Giannis has taken the Bucks up uh from the bottom of the East to the middle of the pack to the top, and then kind of back to the middle of the pack
Yeah.
to the East again. So really impressive, and that's just basically him backpacking that Bucks team because Damian Lillard kind of gives you. I hate to say it, Damian Lillard is my favorite NBA player in the league, but he kind of is giving you a one game out of the week out of 3 games for a great
Yeah.
performance. Um, I don't know why that is. It's kind of tough, and I don't know if that really can be sustainable in the playoffs. But right now, it's been pretty exciting basketball for them in the East. But their defense has been really bad as well. So when Damian Lillard is off and their defense is bad, it's really bad basketball. But yeah, and Karl Anthony Towns here making a huge jump for the Knicks.
Huge.
I didn't think he was going to take a jump from the Timberwolves to the Knicks, but he's taken a jump in his game.
Triple doubles,
Yeah, I think it's been his
20
best
points, 16 rebounds.
rebounding year that he's ever had.
Amazing. Amazing. He's definitely a Nick.
Yep,
Definitely a Nick.
yep. And then Jason
Jason
Tatum
Tatum.
has been the head of the snake in of Boston. He's had some really big games this year in the regular season. Also, as a fantasy basketball owner of him, he had really helping my team there, and he hit just the outright performance of the Boston Celtics has been really nice. He's probably the most consistent,
Definitely.
just play of them. So that's why I gave him the nod of
He's definitely a
front
game
court.
changer.
Yeah. So what's your guards for the East?
My guards is the great LaMelo Ball. And my other guard is Jalen Brunson. Um, LaMelo Ball, fans love him. You love him. I love him. He can give you 37 points. He can shoot 11 threes and make 8 of them. Um, he's on a horrible team, but he himself is great. At 6'7", he is great. He's been great since high school. He's been great since overseas. He's been doing his thing. LaMelo
Yeah.
Ball.
Um, who's your other guard?
Jalen Brunson. I kind of just threw that one in there because I didn't really want I want to say Tyrese Halliburton, but it's kind of hurt my feelings.
So I gave it to Jalen Brunson as well. I think he has been just uh he hasn't had the amazing performances as had
Yeah.
last year, but he hasn't really had to do that. So he's been really good, consistent play, being the little lead guard for this team, being a real true captain for this team. Um, I gave it even till their team is in the pooper. I gave it to Tyrese Maxey because he has been the most consistent player for that 76ers team, and he has been putting up insane games. And when they do win, it is because of Tyrese Maxey. Because even when the games that they do have Joel Embiid, they win the game when Tyrese Maxey has a good game. Because Joel Embiid's going to have a good game regardless. They need Tyrese Maxey to be on his normal stuff that he's been on throughout the entire
Hmm.
year. Um, so I gave the nod to him because he's been really putting on insane performance, and he kind of reminds me not with the finishing just as strong as a finisher, but he has the speed of De'Aaron Fox and shooting of like Damian Lillard, and it's been just insane to see him grow with the 76ers and see him just take over some games in the later halves. So
Definitely. I agree with that for sure.
yeah,
I agree with that.
yeah,
Tyrese
but
Maxey can lead the Sixers for sure.
yeah. So we'll see you guys next Friday. Anything you
See
guys
you
say,
guys
Josh?
next Friday.
Before you gotta say get to get off. We're gonna watch these. We're gonna watch these
I'm gonna
two
watch these games
NBA
next
games.
last
We
two
got the
games.
Clippers game and we got the Rockets game to watch right now. But
Mhm.
oh my
Up
goodness, the Clippers are whooping the poop out of the
whoop,
Trailblazers.
40-26.
Yeah. Oh,
All right,
we
y'all.
got
It's been Friday Night Futon. My name is Josh. This is my boy Quentin. And we'll catch y'all guys next time.
like and
Peace.
subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Yeah.